everyone, welcome back to RainbowToastStudios. My name is Rainbow, and I guess I should say welcome back to me as well, because it has been about a year that I've done anything on YouTube, and I have had some very, very lovely people reach out to me and make sure I was doing okay and everything since I hadn't uploaded, and I really appreciate that so much because I get like 15 views on my videos and it doesn't feel like anyone is really like paying attention, you know. But so that was really, really sweet, and is part of the reason why I was interested in getting back into it, actually, because I did get a gaming computer. I am finally sort of situated where I can make decent videos instead of having to like barely run Minecraft and have to have Mandy kill everything because I don't have the frame rate to be able to survive anything. I now have a decent gaming PC. I can actually run Planet Zoo, which was unheard of with my previous PC that I had, and I have been putting a lot of hours into Planet Zoo. I am really excited to get this up on my channel, get started with some series and such on my channel. I am starting back up again. I'm going to shoot for every Saturday like I was doing before. Here we are in my unlimited zoo, Mori Zoo Unlimited is what I called it, after Jenna Mori, and I am working here on my penguin building. I decided that, you know, this is actually my first build coming out with the aquatic pack, and of course I got the aquatic pack. I was thinking about it and I was like, what are they gonna name it when they come out with like actual aquatic stuff, like sharks and everything? Like, they have to come out with sharks, right? Please. Please, someone come out with sharks. That would be so fun. But they're probably gonna name it Marine Pack, honestly. Like, that kind of makes sense. Like, of course they probably were thinking like, you know, semi-aquatic for this one, but semi-aquatic pack doesn't sound nearly as exciting. But then they could just name it Marine Pack, really, for the next one that'll come out with actual marine stuff. And I am very much looking forward to that. Oh my goodness. Y'all know I love Marine Mania for Zootekken 2, so that's something that I'm definitely interested in. I had to play around with this building a lot. I didn't have very set, like, it really is just kind of winging it. As with my other builds, I just go with the creativity and kind of wing it. Although my best ones, I will say, are definitely based off of like real life buildings, real life inspiration that I get from pictures and such. This one clearly was inspired by, well, I won't say clearly, maybe it's not that good, but it was inspired by the SeaWorld penguin building. I love their building, and I would assume there's probably like other zoos and marine parks that do like black and white buildings for the penguins. It just makes sense. I wasn't going after like too close to exactly the same thing because they do have a lot involved. It's a lot of like triangles and like blue and a bunch of different, I might add a picture that I found. It was also kind of hard to find a picture, but I just kind of winged it, like I said, and stuck with like things that made me think of it. And I used the painted bricks for the black and the snow bricks for the white. I usually don't use the painted brick very much because I don't love the like scuffed paint look. Normally it looks a little bit drab, but with the black, it looks pretty good. There's not all the, you can't notice all of the scuff stuff, and it actually goes really well with the snow, I felt like. And of course I'm like pretending that the snow is like fake. It's just white brick. It's a white brick that's large and not like having paint scuffs on it and stuff. But I think it ended up looking really good together. Obviously everything for the outside is black and white. Here I am making a little backstage area. With this zoo, with my Mori Unlimited Zoo, I'm really focusing a lot on having realistic backstage area, as inspired by Simply Savannah. My first zoo, because I did an unlimited zoo very shortly just to like play around with stuff. And then I launched into campaign because I was getting too bored with the unlimited and I wanted a challenge. And my campaign one was like whimsical. Like there were things that did not make sense. Like I have an entire Arctic area where there's just like, I guess in real life you'd have to have snow machines going constantly and everything, but there was a whole Arctic area inside like a crater. There was a whole safari area where you had to like use a train to get over an entire canyon with water at the bottom. Like the land use did not make sense for realism at all. And I also didn't have backstage areas or anything. And here I make sure to always have backstage areas, and if not, also a night house. I made a point of having night houses for all the animals, except for the penguins, because they are inside a building. I figured it was pretty realistic to have them like just have this area and not exactly have a backstage night house that they would go into at night, because they are already in a climate controlled building. So they're pretty much fine. It ended up working out really well for the size of the backstage area. I really just ballparked it and it worked out. I had trouble with the water, as always with Planet Zoo. There's a lot of water problems with like it refusing to fill up the space that I want, even though it seems like it should. And I had to actually leave these bits of land that are like sticking out at the ends. Earlier I was like trying to get it down and it was not wanting to go down if I had the land going right up to the wall. It doesn't let me not have like any kind of land on the other side, and I just kind of leave that. Like as much as I want to be realistic and everything, like I can't. For some of the pictures that I took for the thumbnails and stuff, I kind of just like built a wall around it, but I really don't like the waste of space that was causing, so I didn't really want to leave it there. And so I just kind of have like little tiny hills. I did what I could. As far as everything else, like the hill in the back and everything, I changed that, but I could absolutely not get rid of those hills because I needed them to complete the water, for the water to stay there. I didn't know what else to do. And so this zoo is actually kind of inspired by the Houston Zoo, as far as like the general layout a little bit. And then I kind of started it because I started with a primate area, and I very much modeled it after the primates at the Houston Zoo, where I have like an elevated wood pathway. Everything has a night house, everything like that. The Houston Zoo does not have penguins, but they do have a birdhouse. And I was thinking like, I'll put a birdhouse on this side because I have a reptile house on the other side, which is like actually how it is at the Houston Zoo, on the other side of the fountain in the middle. I also made the fountain in the middle flamingos for the fun of it. But I was thinking birdhouse, and then I also knew that I wanted to fit penguins in somewhere, and this is really the best place for it, since this is like the main concentration of buildings at the Houston Zoo are like kind of near the entrance and on both sides of the reflection pond. I might add pictures of all this later while I'm talking about it. So I thought it was a really like the best place to put it in, and I'm super excited about it. I love how it turned out. It turned out so well, honestly. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but yeah, really ended up looking like pretty close to like a SeaWorld inspired penguin building. Luckily, a lot of it was luck. It just kind of worked out. I found myself wishing that with the aquatic pack we had gotten some kind of terrain tool that would paint the bottom of marine areas, either like a terrain tool or something that you could select when putting in water, basically to like make everything under the water like artificial land, like that, like artificial pool blue color, to make it a little bit more realistic, because that's how it is with the penguins at SeaWorld. They have this like artificial blue paint for the landscape on the inside, and it's not like a lot of my pools within exhibits. I've done the thing where you put like concrete or something at the bottom and try to work it out that way. But when you have like a very small area or something like this where the ground is really lumpy, and like it is also kind of small, like it's a thin, long marine area, and it would have just been ideal to be able to paint the bottom in like a blue, like light blue marine pool, whatever. You probably get it at this point, but like to be able to do that would have made things feel a lot more realistic, I feel like. I did end up having to put like basically all sand on the bottom. I don't know why penguins love sand this much. It's a little bit strange, but they have a bunch of sand at the bottom. I do end up making this deeper for them, especially because the feeder actually needed to be even deeper than this, which feels like a lot, but whatever. I was able to hide that platform in the rock looking iceberg thing, which I'm really happy with. I think that makes it look a lot better. Those like look good, but probably more so for like seals and stuff. As far as like, you know, like this like boardwalk feel and everything. Not so much for penguins. Penguins are not going to have so much wood around them, but more kind of glacier stuff. Do put lights in and wish I had this kind of looking more like a pool. But I would have very much had to like square everything off, and I didn't so much want to do that because that's not how it is in the penguin exhibits that I've seen. They very much have like very open and rocky area on the bottom, but you know, like I said, it's like artificial and very blue. I'm just gonna pretend that the sand is like a fake sand color. Can we just pretend? Thanks. And I figured that if I have this lumpy area back here, or like this mountainous area back here, which is really important because that's definitely a feature of the SeaWorld exhibits, is that they have this rocky area at the back, and they have like snow machines getting snow out onto the rocks. So that was really important for me to do, but the height of the rest of the building didn't so much work out for that, and it ended up looking so good. What I do with it, I just kind of like add a 2-foot wall, and then I figured I should probably have some light coming in. So I do end up like putting some windows on top there, and it gives the building such an awesome like modern feel. I really love it. I really love how it turned out. And the rocks, yeah, I just kind of sank the rocks into the land to make it look like they're like snow-covered rocks, you know. And the penguins could just like come over here and play on the rocks, jumping off of them and such. And I do use this is a tip that I got from Simply Savannah also. I use the tundra rocks to kind of make an effect of there being snow on the rocks, which is really cool. Definitely recommend it. I've done it in like all of my snowy enclosures. It really makes it look that much more realistic. And they've done it really so that it clips through in a pretty realistic way, especially with that rock on the bottom. That looked really nice. That one I think I do fix because the clipping is a little bit weird. I will say, going back to the actual like inside of the building, I wish we did have an option for carpet flooring. I'm not sure why that's not done yet. I feel like I must be wrong. Like we must have something, and I just haven't found it, because that just seems like such an obvious thing that we should have, especially with how like detailed their buildings get. Also, super happy that we are starting to get like these random small things because they realize that everyone's going to be really extra about their building, like clipboards and vents, multiple types of vents. Ooh. That's such like an adult thing to get excited about. Oh, my game introduced varieties of vents, of air vents. But it's like, it's lovely. It makes it more realistic. I should have put some vents on here, but I didn't. Darn it. I did use a lot of user-created stuff from the workshop, and I will definitely make sure to credit all those users in the description below. I love the things that people create, especially if they try to keep the piece count down. But yeah, especially when it comes to like filling out gift shop areas and everything, I definitely use a lot from the workshop. I do not claim to be someone who can use like 5,000 pieces to make something look ultra realistic. I do not have the patience. That's not what I'm about. I'm like doing the big things. I'm doing big buildings, big habitats. That's the stuff that I really like to do. Oh no. And of course I found that the tank walls were too short, so I had to increase them. And then when I went back to put in the water in, of course anyone who plays will be like, haha, no, it will not be exact again. And it looks like I just like magically made it exact, but it actually took like another 10-15 minutes playing around with the rocks and the terrain and everything to get it to accept the water back again. So this is my first use of something from the workshop. It is just some like AC stuff, and I used these vents to simulate snow machines. Would probably look a little bit similar to this, and actually I hadn't thought about it, but maybe I should have some kind of like AC unit stuff. I didn't think about vents, I didn't think about AC stuff. Here I am trying to make it realistic, and I'm like, maybe I should have added this stuff in realistically, because realistically it would not be a dead end, you know, just one piece of vent there and that's it. But this I actually like really love how this turned out with the little snow machine thing, because it gives it that extra added element of realism, that it would have to like consistently spit out snow for there to be snow in there, and definitely have like very cold air conditioning for sure. So I, like I said, really love how that turned out. I really just did it because like SeaWorld has it. So that's like partially what I mean by like all my builds. My really good builds are always modeled after something that I find pictures of or something that I know of in real life. Is always the best looking, the most realistic. I am finally capping it off with the roof, which was a very nice moment where like everything came together. I think it looks really good, and we'll see it in a second here. And you see like the little hill on the side of the building that stays there. Not very YouTuber of me, but I can't not. It's being unreasonable, okay? I can't find a way to make it work, so it's just gonna have to stay. I think we are finally getting into like the proper inside of the building, and I do make this area over here a bit of a gift shop, because realistically, SeaWorld has a penguin gift shop also once you're getting out, and that's what I was thinking of by having this shaped like a little bit like an L, where it goes out on one side, but the other side it just kind of, you know, people come straight in. You have the regular like enclosure part and then the gift shop on one side. And I definitely used a lot of workshop pieces for the gift shop area. We will see that soon when I get to it. I definitely also wanted to have like the look of the information boards at the top of the tanks. I think that really feels like it completes it. I had some trouble at first when I was trying to just use the education board like combo where it has the the stand on it. I ended up just using a fence post to hang those on, and I think it looks great. Here are the gift shop pieces I usually use from the workshop, and I ended up just getting rid of those little elephants and replacing them with some penguins that I also get from the workshop because we don't have a ton of penguin stuff. We do have the one sign and like the couple of statues that are a little bit too large. And here just creating like a register area with random stuff. I thought the ice looked neat for it. I also wanted to talk about the SeaWorld buildings because they, you know, there's multiple SeaWorld parks. I've been to a couple recently, and the one in Florida, which is arguably like the biggest, probably, I don't know. I've only been to the Florida and the Texas one, so I don't know about California. Maybe they're also like huge and very influential, but I know that the Florida one is you know, open all year. It's a year-round destination, and probably the most memorable, recognizable, what have you. They actually changed the Penguin building, and I don't like it at all. I don't know if it's because like it's just me, you know, being nostalgic. My channel's full of nostalgia, so I'm like, I'm gonna build the old Penguin building in protest. But now they have this like glacier area, and they try to turn it into a ride like the Arctic area. I don't remember what it's called, but like the Arctic polar area with the polar bear and the belugas and all that. They try to turn it into a ride like that. And they have, it's just like a random glacier area near the Atlantis stuff, which seemed really weird to me. It seems super random. And now there's a line just to see the penguins, and it's not as cute. It's just a big glacier. I really like the old buildings, the little black and white buildings. So this is my protest. This is my protest, SeaWorld. I liked the old building. You're just using the new fonts that are lovely. I'm so glad we finally got some official different fonts from Frontier. They definitely were listening to us on that one because everyone was creating fonts constantly to make things a little bit more realistic. And I love how this sign turned out. It definitely, this kind of font is what I was looking for sure. Kind of like a classic, serious, I don't know, is it serious? Is that the right word for it? Anyways, I really like how it turned out. And I add some like a black outline to it by duplicating, and a little like glacier background for it that I think looks neat. I kind of just doubled it on both sides of the building. I don't know if I should have tried to have more variety with it as far as like the rocks behind it. I was thinking like it should be like the brand for it, and we just do it that way. So the same way on both sides of the building. So I put it here and then like play around with rocks in the background as because I was thinking like maybe I just put in the wall behind it, the snow brick wall, and it probably would have looked okay, but we have a lot of squareness going on already, and I was thinking I would just get a cool looking sign out of it with some rocks. So just kind of played around with that for a little bit and then duplicate it over to the other side. Like I said, don't know if I should have like added a little bit more variety on the other side or something, but I do change the sign up on the inside, and I have a wall that's like dedicated to it that I really liked how it turned out. I'm like surprised by my own stuff all the time because I'm like, I didn't plan this, but it worked out. This wall over here that's blank, I'm just gonna use it as like the name wall for the building, and this side I'm just going to use it for the gift shop. I wasn't even thinking about it when I actually planned the layout of the building. I kind of don't have too much more to say about the actual building itself, so I was wondering, what would you guys like to see from me for Planet Zoo? Because I do play a lot of it. I do have a campaign, and do I have a campaign? Well, I do, but like I'm not really actively playing it. I have this is my active zoo right now that I'm doing stuff in. It is an unlimited zoo. I'm really trying to be like hyper realistic about everything and just having fun with the new animals and theming things, having backstage areas, thinking about how quickly my staff can get from one point to another. So I'll have a lot more staff paths going throughout the zoo to have like actual, what we really would consider, you know, backstage areas. I'd be happy to do a tour of this zoo of what I've already done, because I did not do speed builds for my other exhibits here, but it's not a super full zoo. I have the primate area, reptile house, flamingos in the middle, and now the penguins over here. I love this little sign. I'm so happy it came flat instead of just the shop canopy, because that looks so good. Especially with the keeper talk. I have not gotten the keeper talk to work yet. It just keeps saying that they have to walk too far. And I'm like, what do you mean? I actually did try getting rid of the thing that was on the little like glacier thing that I put over it. I was thinking maybe that was preventing them from reaching it, but it's apparently not, because I got rid of it and it's still not working. So I don't know. That's still a little bit buggy. But that's okay. Frontier is like getting out all these great, the Planet Zoo developers are getting out all these great updates for us, so I appreciate it. It's fine if the educator can't do their job. I'm okay with it. Just fleshing out the gift shop area here, which is always fun, thinking of like how things realistically would be. I did end up searching the Steam Workshop for some little penguin statues, because we don't have enough of the like decently sized ones. They're just the larger statues, which is fine and good, and a lot of people have created awesome things from them. But I need things small enough to fit in my gift shop. I can't be selling like red pandas and foxes in my penguin gift shop. Like, come on. We gotta make it penguin themed. People love penguins. But so if you guys like this video, let me know like what you'd be interested in seeing. What's typically the content that you look for in Planet Zoo videos? Are you more interested in the like campaign let's play side of it, or the speed builds, or both? Or maybe even like role playing. Someone suggested role playing with Zoo Tycoon. That's a possibility, although it is more difficult for me to do like live recording with Let's Plays right now because of my setup. It's just a little bit difficult because I am now sharing my space with others, and I have people walking by my window all the time, and I'm right next to the window, so it's a little bit difficult, but we'll work it out. I have also gotten into playing Skyrim, which is another nice old game. I know it's a little bit shocking. We're like introducing new games into my channel. Whoever thought? Like the newest game I was playing was Minecraft, which is like, what? Like over 10 years old for sure. But Skyrim, going back to my roots with the older stuff, but very different because I don't normally play very action-y games like that. I don't even really consider myself a gamer, and that's a very gamery game. But it's funny because like I really got into the Hearthfire DLC, and I'm like all about just, you know, building my house, getting my wife, and like things like that. So I'm like a homebody in Skyrim. It's funny. I love pets for sure. I'm collecting a herd of horses. I got a horse mod so that I can do that. It is not working out with getting Lydia to use the horse, though. They both disappear. So can't do that. But I have a herd of horses that I'm collecting because I love the horses in there. And I really want a dog. I will get a dog one of these days. I just don't want them to die. But enough about Skyrim. Just like about to introduce probably a good amount of variety to my channel and some newer games, with Planet Zoo especially being super new, at least in regards to the rest of my content on my channel. And oh my goodness, are we done? We are done. I talked the whole time. And yeah, enjoy some nice little cinematic shots that I got for you here. Yeah, let me know if you like this build, what you'd like to see from me in the future. I am very happy to be back on YouTube, and I will see y'all later. Bye-bye.
Hey there, it's your girl Rainbow. I'd really appreciate a like or checking out my other videos. Bye!